Hey everybody, good morning. This is Nikki Burnett. My company's Taste Like Nutrition. I'm a functional nutritionist, and I practice strategic evidence-based nutritional consulting. I am here with Romy and Doug Campbell. They have become friends of mine. They have an amazing company called ViviOils, and they do CBD oils. So I want to let you know that we are both doing our Facebook Live together. So I want them to introduce themselves, and then I want for us to talk about what CBD is. I think there's a lot of confusion out there. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what it is, what it's for, if it's good, if it's not good, does it get you high, does it not get you high? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the therapeutic purposes of it, and talk about why I think it's so great what they're doing and how I've integrated it into my practice. So how's that?
That sounds great.
Yeah, wonderful. And obviously this is hemp-derived CBD,
Sure.
which is under the pilot program of the state of Colorado. And it's all to do with the industrial hemp, which was passed in 2014 under the Farm Bill. And we're making massive progress in the Farm Bill of 2018.
Yeah.
Great.
And CBD, has an amazing amount of healing properties, and Nurse Romy here will explain more about that, but it's definitely to do with the CBD content and the terpenes that are in the hemp plant.
Yeah, so what I love about this is we're going to get a little bit clinical, and I think that that's really important, understanding that CBD has a clinical place, and I also believe that THC does as well, but that's a very different plant, or it's a different plant. But it has a place in clinical practice, and so Romy is a nurse, and she's got the clinical background, in which this totally gets me excited if you know me at all. So go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt. I can't help myself.
No, that's great. So I am a registered nurse, and what I'm doing right now for the ViviOil company is conducting some research review, so that all the advice that we give to our clients and the wonderful people that we work with is based in fact and research and evidence and not hearsay. So you asked about what CBD is. So basically CBD stands for cannabidiol, and it's the second most abundant cannabinoid that you get from the hemp or marijuana plants, both of which derive from the cannabis genus. So CBD, the unique thing about it versus THC is it doesn't produce a psychoactive effect. A person that uses it isn't left with a feeling of being high or intoxicated. And the World Health Organization actually said that CBD has no potential for abuse or dependence, which is a big thing, because people who use this, who are trying to target something specific, don't need to be adding that complication to their life.
Right, very true.
So also, I can't talk about CBD without referring to terpenes. Some people may have heard about CBD, but not terpenes. And I'm excited about terpenes because there's a lot in the research that shows what they can do for people. So the farmers that we partner with produce a strain of CBD that is very high, and a strain of hemp which is very high in CBD, and the terpenes limonene and mycrine. And basically the research shows that mycrine is very potent anti-inflammatory, analgesic, anti-mutagenic, and antibiotic. So there's a lot there. A study that was published in 2014 looked at how mycrine can be beneficial for the prevention of peptic ulcer disease, and they found or concluded that mycrine can be very helpful in inhibiting ulcers in the stomach and in the duodenum. So that's huge. That's huge for people.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to touch on limonene, which is the other terpene which we're excited about. They show that limonene in research is a potent antibiotic and antifungal, and that's why our product is turning out to be so beneficial for people that have fungus under their toenails or their fingers, because this product can find a natural remedy for them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is.
And I would say what's so interesting too is you find limonene in so many different things. You know,
Yeah.
for those of you that are in essential oils, I am not an expert in essential oils, but limonene is in the citrus essential oils. So in orange oil and lemon oil, and you know it's used for cleaning. It's used for cleaning because it's a natural antibacterial.
Bacterial.
Yeah, antimicrobial.
Yes.
So I use it every day, just about, and it can be used internally, which is how it's being used in CBD, and all of these things just get me really excited.
And you know, that's the amazing thing too, is not only can you take it internally, but our oil can be applied directly to a person's body. Should you have a problem with your fingernails, fungus growing, or your toes, apply the oil directly and you certainly will see results. We've got people that are very close to us that have had amazing results and stand by our product because of how well they're doing.
How long does it take, do you think?
They see results within days. At least the people that we've been working with side by side, within days, and within weeks they are noticing phenomenal changes that they could never see before using prescription or over-the-counter meds.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, is so many people, when they have these types of funguses, fungi, you know, they're given systemic drugs.
Yes.
You know, so these antifungals are going in systemically when all they need is on their toe. You know, this is not necessarily a good thing. So having something that and it's a difficult thing to deal with when you have fingernail or toenail fungus. It's a hard one.
Well, I mean, the lady, Miss Ina, she's literally had 10 years of this.
Oh.
She hasn't been able to garden. She's gone through everything. She's very holistic minded. She, you know, has looked for every possible solution in a natural way.
Yeah, sure.
And then when she started using our ViviOils Recovery, it's just amazing. She literally changed her life. She's like saying she can garden again.
Aww,
she can
how
do.
nice.
I know. And she's got 4 kids. She's got her hands completely full, and
Yeah.
it's been completely debilitating for her.
Oh.
And she is 100% believer now. She's like, she just can't believe, and she just always shows us her hands and how good they're doing.
Nice.
And it's just really exciting.
So exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
very good. So what's interesting too, and again, if you know me at all, I am a big advocate for dogs and treating our dogs as family and giving them food as they're our family. So giving our dogs real food, raw food, and not kibble, because it's so damaging. I have had my own experiences with CBD as well as some THC for my dogs, and they are coming out with a line for dogs for their hemp-based CBD product. And I'm super excited about that because I now have an overabundance of dogs, 3 instead of 2. But it was an accident, but we have 3 now. And my intent is truly to give it to them preventively. And so I'm excited about what they're doing with their line, and it is launching soon, right?
Yeah, we should have that out. We're hoping mid-August
Okay.
to go when we go into our Home Expo booth in Longmont at the Boulder County Fairgrounds.
So that's a big deal.
That is, you know, because you know we're targeting, or not targeting, but looking after family, friends, and fur babies. You know, like we want to help our family first, our friends, you know, first, and then obviously ultimately our animals as well.
Yeah.
And being that CBD is proving and showing that it's great for preventive care and stopping the onset of disease is
that's the key.
extremely great in that regard. So giving a dog a daily diet of CBD, and actually humans, is a really great idea.
Awesome. So what is it that got you into doing this?
I mean, you know, we're entrepreneurs. We've, you know, always just follow the trends, find the next best thing. We love our dogs, and when we knew CBD was allowed to get onto the market, we hopped on board and tried to find the best and highest quality product there is. Fortunately enough, I mean, we live around the Colorado School of Mines. A lot of our friends and acquaintances come from the Colorado School of Mines. One of my old roommates actually works for Lockheed Martin. He's top secret, so he's a literal rocket scientist.
Nice.
So we've, you know,
I had a friend that used to call it rocket surgery. Sorry. Anyway.
But yeah, so I know electrical engineers, chemists,
Yeah.
Oil engineers, so it's like we know a lot of engineers and very smart and intelligent people.
That's so smart to
I know.
surround yourself with smart people.
Well, it just happened naturally. We
Yeah.
live 5 miles from the Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah.
So naturally we just end up hanging out with all of these really smart people.
Yeah.
And that's who actually makes our product.
Great.
Yeah, so it's they give it the tender, loving care that the product needs, and they're freaking smart and they do it the best way possible, and they know how to do it, and that's why our product is the highest quality, full spectrum CBD hemp oil that you will find, because they give it the tender, loving care that they know it needs. And even if it takes an extra 4 days to extract that oil, they do it because it leaves those terpenes in it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Not most CBDs have all of the terpenes in it, or higher amounts of terpenes, right?
And that's actually what it is. People put alcohols to extract it, so when you are doing it that way, you're leaving the residues of the alcohols. You can never completely remove it, and you're literally destroying the hemp plant. So you're breaking out the CBDs and the terpenes, and they are completely removed. So then what they do is then they come back in and add the terpenes, like you're saying, from the oranges, from the lemons, bay leaves. They take those terpenes and put them back in. Exactly, and that's what we are not doing. We actually keep them. As it's created, those terpenes are staying in there, and that's why you will feel the quality in our product.
Yeah, and the CO2 extraction method that we use preserves all the properties of our oil, and it's not the cheapest method, but it's certainly the method that produces the highest quality for our product.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we met, I don't know, it's been a little while now that we met and discussed their products. And I have started using it in practice. I've started using it on myself. I recently had this it's so weird, some tendonitis in my elbow. I also have some neck issues, and so I've been using it daily and have had some success with it. And I have clients that I'm starting to put on it that have also seen some success with it. So I'm really excited. I'm still pretty new to using their products, so I'm really excited to see where it goes and have a lot of success stories where at this point we're just getting going. Yeah. But I'm so excited about it still because we are seeing success. And so you've got to start somewhere. And so I really wanted to talk to them about what they do and how I incorporate it into practice. I work with clients that are, autoimmune issues, GI issues. I do lots of testing. And so in putting together a protocol for clients, this is a great addition that is safe, it's healthy, it's natural. We have, which I think is really interesting, and more people are starting to understand, but not everybody knows this, is we have a natural endocannabinoid system. I mean, so it kind of amazes me. I don't know, do you know when this was discovered?
It was more recent, obviously. I think it's past 15, 20 years.
Okay.
I think the guy was Israeli, actually.
Yes.
I forget
Israeli scientist.
Israeli scientist.
Yeah, so much good stuff coming out of Israel.
There is.
Yes.
There really is.
Yeah.
And that's what, we hope is that the US can follow suit and that the boundaries to research can fall down, because this is something that should be researched more, and we should be getting more to the end user about this product.
Yeah, that's the 2018 Farm Act. Basically, it's in the House and the Senate. They both passed a rendition of it. Basically, if that goes through and it gets to Trump's desk and they sign off on it, it allows for that research to start taking place.
Nice.
Yeah, much more than it is happening right now.
So I'm going to do something real quick. I'm looking at your Facebook, and it looks like somebody has a question. So So Becky Gibbs says hi.
Hi.
I have a question. I have to pass a drug test soon. Can I use your product and still pass?
Well, geez, that is probably the number one question
Right.
that anyone ever asks. And obviously we can't say yes or no. We don't know. We can tell you, because everybody's different.
Sure.
Everybody's different. Everybody's eco-cannabinoid system is different.
And the way you metabolize CBD is different.
So if you're working out, you're exercising, you're drinking lots of water, you have a great metabolism, most likely you're not. Romy's mother, we actually just got her to take a drug test because she's on 80 milligrams a day,
which is a high dose.
Very high dose, and she has the ViviOils recovery that she puts on her legs daily, and she just passed a drug test.
Okay.
So, you know, and
Interesting.
she's
So you did it just to see
Oh, yeah,
if
to
she
see.
would. Yeah.
And she's been using that ViviOil regimen for about 4 months.
Yeah, she's.
But when we did that, we didn't want it to be used as advice for people to say, okay, because my mom passed the drug test, everybody else that uses that amount of CBD will pass a drug test. Because that we can't say that. But what we can say is, if you're concerned about that, you can go to a pharmacy and pick up an over-the-counter drug test and see how your levels are, if that's something you're interested in doing. But if you're concerned for a drug test at work, our recommendation is don't risk it.
Yeah.
And we can't take that kind of risk upon ourselves either.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can always take the THC-free version of our product. It's obviously not as strong. You know, it's actually not advisable.
Yeah.
But it is there. It's called the isolate version. So
Okay.
it's pure CBD, no THC, but not full spectrum.
So the reason there is still just a hint of THC is because it still comes from it. So my understanding, and this is something that I only recently learned, is the female plant is the marijuana plant, which is where the most of the THC lives,
Okay.
and the male plant is the hemp plant. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so hemp still, they're the same. It's just a male and female. So there's going to be just a hint, right, of the THC in that plant.
And by law, where it stands right now on the federal level, is it has to be less than 0.3% THC by dry weight volume.
Okay.
So literally, you'd have to drink buckets of our product to actually get high.
Yummy.
When you take just a couple of drops a day.
Right,
So it's
right.
like, you're most likely not going to fail, but we're never going to tell anybody you can't, because this is your careers. And a lot of people, just stick to the isolate for now and do a THC-free version.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anything else? No other questions. Anything else y'all want to add?
I wanted to ask you about, you obviously new to CBD and introducing it into your practice, but where do you see that going for you? What kind of clientele do you see that you think can benefit from this product?
Well, so what's so fun about that is I think so many of them, and a big reason for that is since we do have an endocannabinoid system, a natural, innate endocannabinoid system, that it really can be used on anybody. Yeah. And so, my mind first goes to pain and inflammation and things like that. But we have pain and inflammation. If you've heard me, I say this all the time, but if you've heard me speak at all, you've heard me talk about inflammation. Inflammation is the beginning, is the foundation of all disease, right? So if CBD will decrease inflammation, I have other things that will also decrease inflammation. It's a natural part of most protocols, really, because disease is inflammation. If you have gut issues, if you have autoimmune issues, cardiovascular, blood sugar, all of these things, if you're looking at trying to have a baby and you have inflammation, all of these things are inflammation. I keep saying the word, but it's true. Yeah. And so it really can be a natural part of any protocol in my mind.
Right.
So.
And that's why back to the terpenes and why it's so strong is because of that high level of the mycrene. So it's it works hand in hand, and for that one reason, it's powerful anti-inflammatory.
Yeah. It's so exciting.
Natural, I know, natural.
And it comes from a plant.
It comes from a plant. We got a plant's oil that's massively anti-inflammatory properties. Like, I know.
It's beautiful.
That's why it's so exciting. Yeah.
We've been given so much when it comes to our world and our land, and then we have this tendency to go to drugs because that's what's been promoted for so long, and drugs have their place. Drugs are a good thing, but drugs are not the end all be all. They're not this was your world for a little while, that's just kind of how it goes, and there are so many other options than that being the first option. So think about that. Think about what you're putting in your body. Think about what you're putting on your body, no matter what. When I looked at the ingredients of their the VivaSav, I was like, it just kind of gave me chills because it's beautiful. It is a beautiful formula. I love it. It smells nice, and it works well. And so think about going the natural route before you just pop some pills, because what happens so often is you pop some pills and then you have to take some pills to mitigate the problems from popping those pills, and it's a nasty little spiraling downhill.
My neighbor, 65 years old, and I've introduced him like it's helping, and obviously he's old world,
Sure,
doesn't want to touch it, but he tells me on 13 pills a day, and he doesn't want to add this to his diet, it's like,
of all things.
I know, I'm like, it's a plant oil, it's a plant's oil here, like, you really, so, but I can understand, we're conditioned that way.
We are.
We've been told to go to the doctor, take 2 of these a day, take that, and we'll make you better.
Yeah.
And then you end up on 13 pills when you're 65.
It's heartbreaking.
It's terrible.
It's heartbreaking. 65 is still young, and it drugs. I talk about epigenetics a lot. Drugs have a serious implication as far as our epigenome is concerned. It turns on. Turns on or off certain metabolic pathways that are really difficult to reverse, and so we just want to be really careful with that and make sure that we do this stuff first. And we talk about maybe it doesn't work as fast than the drugs, but there's a little bit of a give and take there. It may not work quite as fast, but we're doing it where we're supporting the body and not squashing symptoms. That's all drugs will do for the most part, not all of it, but it just squashes symptoms, and sometimes that's necessary. Many, many times it's not. So, anything else?
I wanted to jump in based on the conversation we're just having now. If you look at CBD and a lot of the stuff that you find online, there's a lot of incorrect information, irresponsible messaging.
And so much about so many things in healthcare, but yes.
But for me, specifically, when I joined this company, I wanted to make it my mission to be a responsible messenger of this product. And if you search what are the side effects or drug-drug interactions of CBD, and you'll be redirected to some CBD companies, they'll tell you, oh no, there's nothing. Nothing will happen. Just take it. It's okay. And the truth is that there is research to show that there can be some effects. I wanted to just touch on that so that people have the information. Some research shows that when you take CBD and you are taking other prescription or over-the-counter meds, the CBD can affect the way that you metabolize those drugs in the liver. So we're talking mainly about drugs that are metabolized by the liver, like ibuprofen, warfarin, the list goes on and on. That's why we always advise if someone's using this product, especially if they're under medical care, to first consult with their doctor, have your doctor on board, have him know or her know how much you're taking, what your plan is. And the second piece of advice we give is always start with a very low serving size and work your way up. We want people to take as little of this product as possible to get a result, and to stop there and keep it happy. Because the more you use, the more you need to use. So those are the 2 pieces of advice that I like to give to people and ensure people know, and that they're not finding info online that isn't correct.
Right. I think with most things, a lot of people have the thought that more is better, and so they start out with more, and that's not, I think usually that's not the right way to go. We always want to start low and increase, where necessary. So more is not better. You want to do what's best for you. Plus, it's a cost savings. If you're not taking more, if you don't need to take more, that's great. You don't want to spend money just to spend money. So, good.
Yeah. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah. I'm stoked. I'm really excited. So we'll probably do this again. We have, so much to talk about, and this is always so much fun. And, I think getting the word out and getting the real word out, especially from somebody that is clinical, that has the science, has the data to back it up, that's what I like. I'm a little bit of a science geek, and so I want to know that there's data, and I want to have the data. I want to know the data. And so this is why I love her. And a great thing is they intentionally are out to support and promote to the practitioners, because they want the right information out there. It's not to get out there and just sell to everybody just to make a buck. It's so people know and understand what they need, how much they need, which product they need, and why they need it, and have the science backing it up at the same time. So I think that's really, really important. That's one of the reasons why I support them, is because they support the data and the clinical research behind it, and then obviously the practitioners. So I think that that's it for now. If you have questions for either of us, remember we're both on our Facebook Live feeds. You can post the questions below, and we'll see them. So we're happy to answer and interact and do whatever we can. If there's something that we didn't cover for either side, let us know, and we will talk about it again, because that's what's fun, is having a discussion and talking about the good stuff and what we can do. So I hope everybody has a great day. I am Nikki Burnett. My company's Taste Life Nutrition. You can go to my website, tastelifenutrition.com, my Facebook page, obviously, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of the things, as well as ViviOils. It's Viva, not Viva. They had to tell me that. So it's ViviOils.com, and then their Facebook page. Are you anywhere else in social media?
Also starting Instagram. Starting Instagram.
Just starting Instagram. So it takes so much time to get this stuff started up. So I feel your pain. But let us know if you have questions. We'll do this again. Everybody have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
See you
Thanks
later.
for your comments.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, finish.